A frozen lake on a brutally cold morning, appropriate for a world record attempt in Minnesota.
It was 22 below this morning at 5 to 5 when I woke up.
Chuck Zwilling and his family are plotting to cut a huge disc of ice known as an ice carousel. This is the one to beat, a massive 100-meter spinning disc cut by Finnish inventor Yannick Capolato.
An ice carousel is, if you can imagine, taking a chainsaw and cutting a perfect circle, then you cut another circle about 6 inches further out. You remove the ice in between, and then you stick a trolling motor or whatever you want to the power source, and it makes it spin.
Today's challengers are the Zwillings, a dozen adult siblings from Minnesota.
I'm Facebook friends with Yanni, and when we decided to set the world record, we said we're coming for you.
Are we gonna set a world record today?
Yeah!
Is it cold out?
Yeah!
All right, 1, 2, 3, sunny.
Dad had Sonny's Logging, which is a logging business.
Growing up, we all helped Dad at the sawmill until we all started to branch off on our own.
I still run a chainsaw today.
This isn't their first carousel.
Last year we did quite a bit smaller version of it.
This year's carousel is going to be 110 meters, give or take a meter. The circumference is 7 times bigger than what we did last year.
With 2 cuts needed to create the gap, that adds up to over 700 meters of sawing through ice.
So this year, we started working on an ice cutting sled.
In steps Ken, the mechanical one, to design it.
Nothing fancy with our first sled. Just something to hold the chainsaw and push it through the ice. And we learned real quick to keep the tips of our saws out of the water. Water saws harder than ice does.
Then they enlisted a local contractor to build this double-bladed cutting sled to tackle both cuts simultaneously. They tested it, and it worked like a charm. With a shivering crowd watching, the fun begins. The cart is tethered to a cable pegged at the center of the circle. They have to follow it tightly for success.
If we're off more than 3 inches, we might be in problems. Once we started using the saw and we had it hooked up to the cable to keep our circle, we found that the blades would move on their own, bend, twist.
They'd barely taken a bite out of it when the chains just stopped.
Cold weather today is not helping at all. Things are freezing up faster. We might be using the chainsaws after all.
There's more than family pride pushing them. This attempt's also being used to raise money for local kids.
The charity that we are supporting today is Flyer Pride Pack, and that is a weekend food backpack program for kids that basically live below the poverty line, so they've got a little food over the weekend.
So they improvise, pulling out an early prototype with a single blade.
All right, we got it. Back and down. Somebody hang on in front. Drag it ahead out of the wall.
This Frankensled makes easy work of a shallow cut. But to finish the job, it's back to good old-fashioned logging skills and determination.
But one thing about the Zwillings is that when they set their mind to something, whatever they start it, they'll finish it.
At nightfall, the crowd disappears, but the family remains.
Got some big construction lights that they use like on highway projects at night.
The temperature dives and the winds are whipping up. The circle is no longer perfect or pretty.
Got some ice augers and they're drilling right next to each other. The chainsaws are coming in between, cutting the ice out. They're making good progress.
A quick measurement tells them they've hit world record size.
So well over 110 meters in diameter.
Our next challenge will be getting it to spin.
The disc weighs over 3,100 metric tons. It'll need some coaxing to move.
And we were trying to pull it with some four-wheelers. It moved a little bit.
That's it. It's over now.
We are going to get that thing to spin because not only are we Zwillings, we are Americans, not Americans.
In the morning, they're back at it, hoping the low temperatures didn't freeze the gap overnight.
We'll fight till the end.
We are officially moving.
As it starts to spin, it's a testament to this family's stick-to-itiveness and the start of a yearly tradition.
We'll definitely work on our saws a little more, being we know what didn't work.
And knowing my brother Kenny, he will have it all down pat next year. There won't be any trying it the day of.